I am Susan. It's good to meet you guys. I am a person that has post COVID or long COVID, whatever you want to call it. And I do have a bunch of other things that went along with it. So, today I want to show you some of the things that I do during my doctor's visit that helps me get the most, or what I'm after in my appointments for my doctors from all of my things. And first, we're going to do the medical folder. And what this is, it's nothing fancy, something I bought at Walmart, or you can even get, the folders. It's like this, the vanilla folder that just opens up like this and doesn't have pockets or anything. It just opens up, something to carry it in, just something to carry it in and keep it organized so you know where things are, so you can be organized and be precise when you're looking for something. You don't want to have to be thumbing through it. You want to have it right here. So this, it's got my little thingy in it from where I went, but I put my medical files, medical records in this. And what that does, and I also we'll talk about that in a minute though. And what that does is that helps the doctors know what you've previously been, diagnosed with, and it also helps them with tests. Like if you're going to a new doctor and that doctor says, well, we want this test, this test, this test, this test, this test. If you have those tests in your medical records and they're not that old, then they can go by what they see, and you don't have to have all that stuff done over again. Because if you're like a lot of people that have post-COVID, we go to a lot of doctors in the beginning, and if you're in the beginning of it and you haven't got your diagnosis or some of your diagnosis, then you try different doctors, because some of them are just not that friendly. They just they think it's something else. They don't really want to diagnose you with different things. So it's a challenge. So you have to take your medical records around with you. And I learned that just by going around. I'm sorry guys, I got my hair, trying to get my hair fixed. It was hair washing day and it's everywhere. So that's what I use this for. So let's say I was going to I have a new pulmonary doctor that I'm going to. I'm having to talk to people. My latest pulmonary function test wasn't in my portal, so I'm having to track it down and get people to send it to me so I can have it. And I also have an x-ray that they did that time, so I can take that in there to him. And even though he may want to do his own pulmonary function test and his own x-ray, he can compare it to what was done before and see the differences. See what I'm saying? So that's important. Your medical file or medical folder, that's important to get your records. And you can get a lot of your records on your patient portals if the doctor does a patient portal. I know some of them still doesn't do patient portals, but a lot of them do. So your patient portal, you can see all of your things on there. And if they don't have I do have one that they're not on there, but I just send them a message and ask for my records. So they send them on to me. So you can do that. Some of them want, the permission form or whatever that is. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but where you have to sign off to get your records. Some of them do that. And then others you have to, sometimes if they don't have they have a portal, but you can't get a lot of the files on there. You can request, some of them you can request a copy of your records, and then they send them to you. Or they send them to you in the mail. So that's what I would recommend is a record file. For, you don't have to take all your records. So let's say you're going to a pulmonary doctor, just take your pulmonary, your pulmonary records. Or if you're going to, if you've had coughing or, a lot of, like some of us do, we have persistent coughing, or we have drainage or something like that. You might want to take that stuff and show the pulmonary doctor. So, and then your family doctor, you might want to take him if they're not if your specialists and stuff are not sharing medical records with your primary, then you might want to take files to your primary doctor. That way your primary doctor knows what's going on. So yeah. And what else I keep in here, I'm going to put my little sheet back in there. What else I keep in this file is a medication list, because I take a lot of medication, and it's important for you and your doctor that they know what you are taking, so you can get your best health wise through them, since they know everything you're taking. So I take a list of them with me everywhere I go, everywhere. And I put it in my folder with my medical records, just to have a place for it to be. Or you can write it. Well, I'll tell you that in a minute. Okay. Alright, guys. So next we're going to talk about a notebook. And what you're going to do with your notebook is you're going to, this is what I've done, guys. I have sat down, in just a little cheapy notebook, or you can even do another vanilla folder and loose paper, whatever you want. Okay? Okay, guys, so the next thing is you're going to get just a regular little notebook, or you can also do another vanilla folder or a folder or loose paper and staple them together and put them in a notebook, whatever you want to do, okay? This is your information that you can store the way you want to take to your doctors, so you can better be or better communicate and a lot of things like that, because I have a lot of brain fog and I forget things quite a bit. So what I started with is making a list of what I've been diagnosed with. That's what I started with. See, I have long or post-COVID. I have POTS. I have small fiber neuropathy. See, I've just put it down through there. What I've been officially diagnosed with, I've put and wrote down on this paper. Okay. And then what I did over here is write down some of the things that I'm having issues with that I want to talk to the doctors about to try to get diagnosed about. So I've got GI symptoms, I've got a persistent cough, I've got a sore throat and a dry throat, and I didn't put that on there, but I have this persistent fatigue. So those things I want, to get diagnosed with, but I don't want to forget about them. So I'm going to write them down, because I have a lot of brain fog, a lot of forgetfulness, and I'll think, well, why didn't I ask him about that? But I forgot it. So you have all this stuff at your fingertips where you can get it, and I'm going to show you how you want to put it all together. Just give me a minute. Okay, so then what I did over days in a time, because like I said, I do have brain fog and forgetfulness. I took each one. Let's see, this is the long post-COVID, and I put my symptoms down that I have for long COVID or post long COVID, whatever you want to call it. I put them on that page, and you're going to make a page for each diagnosis. You can use the back to do symptoms. And then here's POTS. I did all of that one, and it has an extra page back and then an extra page over here. So just make a list of all your symptoms for all of your things, and then you're also going to make a list Sorry guys, I'm getting there. Did I not do it? You're also going to make a list. This is not it. This is one of my diagnoses, but I'm going to use it for example. You're also going to use, for the things you think you have, let's say it was GI symptoms. I'm going to write my GI symptoms down here. And cough. Okay, cough is a symptom. So I'm going to put cough at the top of my paper, and then I'm going to put when it happens, what happens after, what makes it better, things like that. And then my throat, my throat soreness and dry throat, I'm going to put it at the top, and then I'm going to put when it happens, how severity it is, and all that on there. I'm going to put when it happens, what what makes it better, what makes it worse, things like that. And then we're going to tie it all together. Okay? So we're going to tie it all together based on I'm trying to find it. Based on what doctor you go to, you will write down notes. Okay? So you're going to have notes for your doctor's appointments. And those things that I was showing you a while ago are guides to help you to do that. And when I get there, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So, I went to my neurologist, which is for my small fiber neuropathy. So, the first thing that I did was made a list of my symptoms. So, I was having numbness. My hand was numb and tingly, and numbness all together is worse. Then burning pain in my feet and legs. I put if it was worse or better. And then cramps were the same. Fatigue is very worse, and urgency, urinary urgency is worse. I put all that on there. I just put, what my symptoms was. Was they worse? Was they better? This was a checkup. This wasn't the first visit I have been to see him. This was a checkup. So I put if it was worse or if it was better, what was going on, or if I had something new, I would have put it under there, and when it happened, what made it better, what made it worse, things like that. Like my neuropathy pain, a lot of times shoes makes it worse. So yeah, so just make sure you put on there what makes it worse, what makes it better, if anything, when it happens, what's going on, or stuff like that. Put put down something that helps the symptom see a little bit better, for you to get, for the doctor to see what's going on, and then next I put questions I wanted to ask the doctor. And then I do this over days at a time, because like I said, I can't think of things. I'll put down a question, then come back, I'll do it maybe started about 2 weeks before my appointment, and just go ahead and start putting down symptoms, and when I get my symptoms done, I'll start on my questions. But yeah, I just ask him, ask about fatigue, tell him, ask about fatigue, and ask him about my hands going numb, and then he does a lot of stuff. He does my migraines too. So I got my symptoms of my migraines here, and then my a question I wanted to ask him about my migraines. Yeah. So that's what you can do. You can do your, your extended symptoms, and then your questions, what you want to do. And if you're seeing that doctor for more than one issue, then, you know, you just make your list longer. And what I find that is the most important is to take my appointment notes, is what I call them, where you put your symptoms down and you write your questions, hold it in your hand while you're talking to your physician and refer to the page. Make sure, you know, just do a glance over, make sure that you have said all of those symptoms and, you know, that whatever goes with them, what makes them worse, what makes them better. And then make sure you've asked all your questions, and then that way you've covered everything you wanted to cover, and that gets you all the information that you wanted from the doctor, instead of getting in the car or getting home and thinking, oh no, I forgot to ask about this. So that helps me with that, guys. And it helps with the medical folder, helps me with going the medical folder helps me with showing the doctors what's going on with my health, and that I have something, because my primary doctor just said to me when I was there last time, oh, I didn't know you have post-COVID. Yeah. So I do have post-COVID, and I have records to show it. So I'll have to take records to him next time and give them to him so he knows that I have post-COVID. So, you know, doctors can get confused, and they can get to where, you know, they don't, you know, if they don't look at things all the time or something, they don't see some of the things that you're dealing with, and when you're talking to them about it, they're kind of like, well, I didn't know you had that, or I don't know you have that problem, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. You know, they get off subject and off task, and yeah, so that's what the medical records help with me, is to keep the doctor on task about what we're doing, about what we're talking about. And what helps to make your notes. I find it helpful. My notes, to make my notes, I find it helpful to go back. So let's see, we're doing small fiber neuropathy. I have a small fiber neuropathy page. And that's what helps me, is to go back and look over when I'm making the notes for my appointment, go back over these and say, oh, did I have feeling lightheaded? Did I have heart palpitations? Did I have numbness? Did I have not being able to feel pain? Did I have stomach cramps? Did I have sweating more than usual? Did I have any of these symptoms? And if I did, go ahead and write them down, even if they were at the first of them. You know, I don't see my neurologist but every 6 months. So, you know, I might have forgotten something from 3 months ago, or 6 months ago, that happened right after my appointment with him, and then I'm coming back to the appointment. This just with my brain fog. This just helps me stay on track about my symptoms. Now, if I'm not having that symptom, I'm not writing it down, obviously. But if I have the symptom, then it reminds me that I've had the symptom because it's been so long. And that's what I do with all of them. So I hope this helps you guys. And I'll tell you what, if you have a different way to do it, or you have something you think would help me with my process, then let me know. What do you do before your doctor's appointment? How do you prep? I like feedback, so tell me how. Thought someone was in my eye. So just tell me how you guys would prepare and do your medical records. Is there a different way that I didn't say, or is there a different way or better way to do your notes that you didn't think I went over? Just let me know, guys, and I'm glad you tuned in. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.